So the history of banking correspondence in Brazil is quite recent. In 1995, the central bank enacted a resolution that allowed banks to make agreements with non-banking firms in order to increase their distribution network. Under this agreement, banks can rely on pre-existing infrastructure in order to provide their services. For the banks, this is a way of improving their outreach without requiring large capital expenditures. Banking correspondents are typically lottery houses, post offices, bakeries, rentals, and other small firms as well. Banking correspondents are allowed to provide a whole series of services. They can collect deposits, they can make payments, open checking and savings accounts. They can collect applications for credit, so they can really provide a full package of services. My research was looking at to what extent the banking correspondent allowed the improvements in the outreach of the financial system, especially into more isolated and less populated areas, municipalities. Over time, we can see that the banking correspondents started to serve the smaller and more isolated municipalities, while more recently it becomes to increase in major areas like metropolitan areas and in bigger cities. By 2007, the number of banking correspondents were about 4 times the number of formal branches in Brazil. And this shows how fast the dissemination of this new arrangement as a new way of increasing access to financial services. I expect that the future of banking correspondence will be to keep the pace of increase in the way we have nowadays, because in terms of the outreach, most of the municipalities in the country are already covered by the system. In 2011, only 30 municipalities did not have any banking correspondence, so the system is completed. And we are in a more stable situation nowadays. Last year, there was an auction led by the Brazilian post offices in which they were selling the contract of using their more than 6,000 points of sales to distribute these financial services. They sell this contract for almost $2 billion. It's worth it to mention that although this contract was won by the Banco do Brasil, which is a government bank, the second highest bid was made by a large private bank, and this bid was in the same order of magnitude. So I think this is reassuring in terms of showing how important banking correspondents are being considered by banks as an important way to increase the distribution of their service.